I am Stacy of Stacy's Sassy Styles, coming at you right now with some naked nails, you guys. Okay, so I know that schedule-wise, this was meant to be Valentine's Day 6, but somehow, I mean, I did do it, but somehow it got lost in all the hubbub and shuffle, and so I figured this was a good time to do a video that I have been wanting to do, which is the top, 10 or 20 most common mistakes / things I wish I knew when I started Color Street. Now, I can tell you this. When I started Color Street, there wasn't Color Street channels on YouTube. There wasn't. There wasn't anybody doing much of anything. Like, there might be somebody putting their nails on, but they weren't going more in depth with it, like how they prepared, what they did as they went, tips and tricks they've learned along the way. Like, it was more just stylists showing you sets that you should buy. So, first of all, hi, I'm Stacy and I am not a stylist. I'm a Color Street addict. I've never been a stylist. I have no plans on ever being a stylist. I love my stylist. We're great friends, and we did not go into this being great friends. We just met. I had went to a cousin's party and she was the stylist and I stayed an addict. My cousin, I don't think, uses her nails anymore, but anyway, so I'm going to talk about things I think are things that I wish I knew, but I'm also going to use confetti. This was the set, you guys, that sold me, that turned me in to the addict you know today. So this was a 2019 set, which is when I started, April of 2019. And my stylist, Shannon, had not been a stylist very long. So I feel like we learned a lot together. And she is very much, she does mixed manis, but she stays full nail and darker colors. If you've been here at all, or if you're new here, you will know that I am a lover of negative space. Be it slant tips, or French tips, or wonky cut tips, or a mix of full and tips. Like, I am a lover of the negative space. Part of it being is I have very small nail beds, and even though my nails are long, they're pretty short. In general, they're pretty short compared to a lot of people. So I just feel like a negative space makes my nails look longer. So here we go. If you don't have a beverage, pause your video, go get one. We're gonna leave this here for right this minute, and we will put them on though, and you guys are gonna be as mind blown as I was. And this is a throwback set for Valentine's Day, so girl, get it. All right, so my number one thing I wish I knew is how to prepare my nails. So start with a rubber cuticle pusher. You can get these on Amazon in like a 10 pack, a 25 pack, a 100 pack, 500 pack. I mean, do they wear out? Yeah, I do feel like the rubber gets a little beyond squishy after a while, the little silicone tip. I would say I'm maybe gone through, in my 4 years, I think I've gone through maybe like 6 of them. So if it gets too squishy, if it's not holding up as good anymore, I just toss it and use a new one. Now, I never use this end, although I'm sure you could use it for something. Yeah, probably cleaning out under your nails if you needed to. And then the other favorite prep item of mine is a pumice stone or pumice stone, however you pronounce it, cuticle pusher. So it looks like this, except it's made of pumice stone. And it is fantastic for removing your cuticles. So I'm going to start with this one while I talk a bit. And I'm just going to go through now. If you are truly new and not someone who has, who keeps up on your nails, then the first thing is that you don't want to go like absolute crazy on this. It'll probably just make your nails, make everything a bit sore. Like if you're, this part that I'm pushing back is called the proximal nail fold. So let me see. Hang on, I'm missing one light, and that might be the one that helps. There we go. That's the skin you're pushing back. The actual, so you can see in this corner, there's actual little bits growing up your nail. It almost looks like a little fine tissue paper. That's the cuticle part that you want to get rid of. So most people call this part you're pushing back their cuticle, but it's really not. That's really your proximal nail fold. So I would say as a whole, when I started, my nail care and hand care was real lacking. Really, really, really lacking. Okay, so this is what I'm doing first. I'm just each one. Now, I do my nails at least twice a week, but I would say try to do this once a week. At least once a week. I mean, it's not going to hurt to do it every single time, but at least do it once a week. And if you're, for me, I can push my cuticle, I can push my proximal nail fold back any old time. It's almost like, when I put my cuticle oil and stuff on, I just do a little touch up. Okay, so there we go. And one reason you want to keep your proximal nail fold pushed back is because, girl, makes your nails look so much longer, makes them look so nice. Now, cuticle, and you can use this either way, facing this way or facing this way. I like it facing this way. And you don't need any heavy pressure, but you're gonna slide up and down the sides. That's usually where I find the most hiding, and then right in the corners. Doesn't take much pressure. You're not trying to file your nail all the way off. Although I don't know that it would. I guess I've never pushed hard enough to test it, right? See that? And that's not my skin. I didn't remove any of that skin. That's all still there. I'm just getting rid of, I know you can, or I hope you can see it there. I know I can. Just sliding that over it, and it's gonna buff it right off. So with all that cuticle built up on there, what's happening is your nail can't cure to skin. So if you don't take care of that actual cuticle part, your nail strips are not going to adhere the way you would want them to, okay? So you're gonna go through, and this doesn't, once you're used to it and keeping up on it, this doesn't take long. And they also have these, I have it up here. They also make it in glass, like a glass cuticle pusher. And I do like this pointy side, but for me, this part feels slippery. I feel like I can get a better grip on this. Now, I'll tell you what, you get these on Amazon, you get like 20 of them for $9. I mean, you can get a bucket load of them. Now, I don't even think I've ever had to replace one of these. I guess I'm not 100% sure what would cause me to replace one. Maybe eventually it'll wear down and wear out. Hang on, and I'll look at the tip of this and see if I feel like it's worn down from where it started. Yeah, it has definitely wore down a bit, but not a ton. So I don't know. I guess I don't know when I would say this needs to be changed. But I would say if you order them, I don't even know if you can buy just a few pack. I'm sure you can. But share with friends, because guess what? Everybody has cuticle work they should do. There we go. And you guys, even though I'm doing this weekly, I swear, I don't know where they come from. They just keep coming back. Where are you coming from, little buggers? My nails do grow pretty fast, and that does play a role in it. That guy's coming back good. Okay. Let me look at them and make sure and if you slide your nail over them, over your nail, you can feel if you missed any. Mine all feel nice and smooth now. And that one doesn't need any. That one definitely does. That one does a little, and that one does. Okay. And my pointers seem like they get it the fastest. And also, I mean, you know, when you're working on your non-dominant hand, things are just harder. And I don't really use this pumice stone one to like push back my proximal nail fold. You can see I dyed my hands a little bit blue today, you guys. It's okay. And Color Street is now finally getting on board with like actual, you know, hand and nail care. So that's awesome as far as I'm concerned. That's awesome. I have a little bit down here. Okay. All right. Now, either one of those, doesn't matter what you're going to use one of them. Okay. And then next step would be to give a little file. I like these Diamond Cosmetic filers because they have a side that has 320 grit, because I don't, most never do I need to make big changes in the shape of my nail. And if I go with a bigger filer, I end up making bigger changes than I want. So there's that. I keep up, you guys, literally, I tinker with my nails as far as filing every day. Again, it goes with my, like, using my jojoba and stuff. Like, just my general, I have a little bit of cuticle way up here or something. It just goes with my general daily hand care. Okay, there we go. All right, so file, get them the shape you want them. When you file, you know, that way to the middle. Just don't do the big saw back and forth, right? Lots of people like glass files. I don't like it just because I don't like the feel of it. I personally, as a whole, don't like the feeling of filing my nails. It just grosses me out. I mean, so I do it, of course, but I don't love it. All right, so now if you open your pack of Color Street nails, you're gonna have this. Let me get a new set out to show you guys so you know what you're gonna get. All right, I haven't unpacked these yet. Oh, I love this set. Okay, this one is called Rings of Saturn. It was a recent release. You can pop open your back. And then inside, holy crap, did these files get even bigger? You guys. Shit, now I gotta compare them. And then there's your nail prep pad. Everything has glue boogers on it. I hate them. If it was up to me, I will tell you what would happen. You would be able to order saying that, like, you would be able to pick either a nail packaged because you're new, or a nail set that just comes like this because you are restocking. That's what I would love to see. Okay, hang on. Now I've got to grab a file. I know I have them in here because I saved them for Mary. Oh, no, it's not bigger. Gosh, it looked huge, you guys. Maybe because I just don't use them. That's probably why. So they've got all kinds of cute prints. They used to come with little files like this, which are really awesome files, and I use these size all the time. I don't use these ones because I don't feel like they work very well, but they're really cute. So, I don't even know what I just did with that alcohol swab. I might have just set it over here. Okay, and then it comes with a nail prep pad, which is just an alcohol pad. So I don't use these. I feel like they're drying to my skin. They're drying to my nails. I just don't use them. I did use them for years, but the more I have worked on like my nail and skincare and like the overall health of my hands, I don't use them anymore. So use it if it makes you feel better. Do whatever you need to do. For me, I wash my hands with dish soap, and I just use regular old Dawn dish soap. It is the best degreaser, obviously. It cleans little ducks up when it needs to. So we know it's good. If it can clean a duck, it can clean your hands. So it'll totally degrease your hands, which is what you're looking for. And that's it. That's all I do. That's it. Okay, so I'm not gonna use this set. That's one thing. Okay, so one of the biggest mistakes I think people make is not having A, their hands warm, and B, their nails warm. So I live in Minnesota, and right now it's below freezing. This mat you see here is just a desktop warming mat. I have it plugged in and turned on the lowest setting, and it's just a gentle warmth here, which has been making my nails lovely and soft right now. And my hands, of course, have also been on this mat, so they're going to be warm enough. Now, the same thing in the summer. In the summer, you think, oh, it's hot. I don't need my warming mat. I don't need to warm my nails. I don't need to warm my hands. But more than likely, if you're like me, you're going to have air conditioning on, and you're still going to want to warm things up. Once in a while, you will find a set that's like, almost like melty. But if you throw it in the freezer for about a minute or two, it'll be good to go. But there is a kind of a happy medium, and when they're cold, they are not that. So you want to have this warm, and you want to have your hands warm. A lot of people will just slide them under their butt and sit on them for a couple minutes, put them down their shirt, split your nails in your bra, whichever works. Okay, so now we've got our nails set. I already have washed mine with dish soap. You don't want to cut off any of this proximal nail fold. Just leave it be, leave it be, leave it be. We've taken care of our cuticles. Everything should be good. We should be good now to start. So we're going to open these babies up. I try to leave the end with the writing. That's the end I want to save. So I'm going to open this end here. I like to be able to keep that writing side. This is a silicone weeding scrap collector. Weeding as in, like, if you're doing stuff on your Cricut or Silhouette, you pull the little crappy bits out, and they're called weeds. You're called weeding it. And that's what this is. And it's just a nice garbage collector. But use anything. A little cup, whatever. Oh my God, you guys, look at these. In all their glory. Now, Color Street has made these to be, one set for each hand. If you're like me, you can use, one nail will do 2 hands. But I am going to use these as intended, and here's why. this is a glitter dip, so anything you see white is actually clear and is gonna let my nail shine through. So they make these so that one end, the glitter dip is real close to the bottom, and one end it's further away. And I want the end that's further away because I don't want the glitter like starting way down here. I want it more up here to kind of make this illusion of like a glittery French tip, so to say. So that's why I'm going to use both sets of strips. Now, the other thing you want to do right away is figure out which ones fit you best. So when you've taken them out, if you just kind of fold it over, you can see what's gonna work. I know what works on my hand already. So I already know that for my thumbs, I want that one. So I'm gonna put these ones here. Those are for my thumbs. And then the next bigger one here is for my middle. These ones, I don't really use those ones. And then I don't know that these, I feel like this is better for ring. This is better for pointer. That's for pinky. And then I think I'm going to use these two here, and I will show you why. Okay, so that leaves me with these here. I am going to cut my packaging down. The less air that has a chance to be on these, because Color Street comes to you 95% dry. So the less air that can get to these and the less they're out in the air, the longer they're gonna last, the fresher they're gonna be if you wanna save them and use them again. So I've stacked these up. I've left the name on here, Confetti. And when you look at a set of nails, let me get something to show you guys this so you can see it good. There we go. So on Rings of Saturn, says the name, and the very last number tells you what year it is. So these were made in 2022 on the 283rd day. Now, I will tell you something, that we're going to be getting to the point where it's harder to know what year stuff's made in, right? Because they're coming into 6 years. And then if you use some of the original stuff that they had, it's going to make it even harder. All right, so here, this is a mini flat iron. I've turned it on. When you're picking what you want to seal your sets shut for you, go with something that is plugs into the wall, so you're getting good power. This you can either save in case you want to throw something in it later, partials, and make your own little packaging. I save all of mine, but you don't have to. I have this little baby heating up, $10 on Amazon. But you can get mini flat irons everywhere. And just takes a couple little bits here, and now we've sealed this back shut. A lot of people put theirs in the freezer. I have never put mine in the freezer, and I've never had problem. I've used sets that I've had sealed for 3 years and they've been fine. So that's totally sealed shut. The key is that you're using the package they come in, because it's a really thick like millimeter plastic packaging or whatever. It's good and airtight. And then this I can just store away in my binder, use it again whenever. If I want to take the extra step of storing them in the freezer, then like most people just keep a baggie or a little container in the freezer and they'll throw them in. I just keep mine in binders. So here we go. That's good. Now, I use a base coat, but when you're starting, I say don't use one, because you need to get a little practice. So my favorite base coat is Orly Bonder, and it's a rubberized base coat, The reason I love it is it makes it so my nails don't go discolored. If you watch some of my older videos, like over a year ago, I guess, when I started this process of trying to get just healthier nails and such, you'll see my nails were super, super discolored. And it was just from, you know, wearing the strips, and I wear a lot of dark strips, and I change my polish a lot. So I just would I just wound up with dark colored, like, stained nails basically. And oddly enough, or not oddly, but funny enough maybe, because I always was wearing negative space, it was only discolored like that slant top, because a lot of times I would, I'd do a slant, so only the top part was discolored and the bottom never was, because it wasn't having polish down there. So anyway, I'm gonna put this base coat on one hand, only on one, to show you guys. But I say first, practice and get comfortable with these a few times before you do base coat. But the good thing about the Orly Bonder is it stays a little bit tacky even when it's dry, so it's really going to help seal those babies down. Because it's rubberized, it helps your nails move well and the strip, so you won't get cracks in your strips. And most of the strips, even if you got a crack in it, you wouldn't see it, but on the solid cream ones, you definitely will see it. So let's start over here. Now, the very first thing you want to learn is that you always start with your pinky. Your thumbs are your best tools for cleaning nail stuff up, so you want to always start with your pinky. So taking this, first things first is to take off the plastic. And especially with these, because they're clear, which you're gonna see here. Ta-da, they're clear. I'm going to take it off and just place it down a little further. So now I have this that I'm going to place on my nail, but it means I'm not touching the back of this and leaving, like, even though my hands are so clean, I would leave little fingerprints kind of all over the clear plastic. So my favorite way to start is from the side. So I'm going to just lay that down on the side. And then pull it over to that side. Give it a nice smooth. Don't feel like you're being tough with them. You're not being tough with them. Okay, and now the only downside of these big chunky glitter dips is that you gotta nip that little glitter at the end. Okay, oh my gosh. I mean, look at you guys. Of course I was sold on these. So now this little rubber cuticle pusher is fantastic for making sure all your edges are down. And if you have a little hanging over the edge, like I do, just nip it. It's just those chunky glitters tend to do that. Okay, now I'm gonna do the other pinky. Now some people do their 4, these 4, and then thumbs. I go back and forth, pinky, pinky, ring, ring, all the way through. And now, as you see here, I could use this over here, but this one, it goes way lower. And I don't want my dip to be that low. And I'll show you a better, I'll show better on my next finger. So I'm gonna take this off and I'll lay it on there. That's called the anchor. So you can touch this here, and not mess it up. And you want to get it as close as you can to your proximal nail fold without actually going on it. But if you do go on it, you can clean it up. So don't get in a panic, right? Don't get in a panic. Don't panic. If you get it on your skin, don't be like, oh, I messed it up, because you haven't. Okay, now here, again, I'm nipping those big glitters. And you definitely want a good pair of cuticle nips. And then I'm just kind of folding that little extra bit over. Beautiful. And then, and if you're going to use your little cuticle smusher here, the best spots you want to get are really at that base, you know, because you want that to stick down good. Oh, lovely. Okay, so now on this one, I'm going to show you the difference here. So let's take this one. We're going to take this off. Sticking it on there as my anchor. And then what I'm doing, because I want to make an accent finger that is like cohesive with the rest of them, but adds a little jazz. To me, makes a big difference to add a little jazz. So I'm taking the second one and putting it right over the top of the first one. And it's going to be the most subtle difference, but it's going to be lovely because now this one is more glitter heavy. Than our pinkies. See how sparse our pinkies are? Now this one's glitter heavier on the glitter. So let's pull some of these big glitters. Okay, now let me show you here. On this hand, what I wanted to show you is the difference of where this glitter starts. So if we use the other end, we need to pull that little perforation off there. And sometimes when you do that, you'll get little nubs sticking out here, and you can totally just nip those right off with a little pair of scissors or your cuticle nips. So now you see where it started there, but if I use the opposite end, it's starting, there you can see, much lower. That's why I liked the other end better. But you just do what suits you. See, so you can pull them right up. But if you have a base coat, you can't pull them up. They stick right down. That's why I say don't use a base coat until you've gotten a little bit practiced. Once you've practiced a little bit, then you can use a base coat and think nothing of it. Now, Color Street sells a base coat. I don't like it myself, but that's just me. So you might try it and love it. I personally super love this Orly Bonder. Now, remember, I'm doing this one a double layer because I want to make it extra glittery as my little accent situation. Feeling glittery. All right, now I'm going to show you quickly with this one that we can do 2 fingers out of 1 strip. So your sets will go a lot further. So let's start over here. Putting them on. most of the sets, you guys, you don't even need the nippers. You can just, you know, peel slash break it with your finger. But because these have these big chunky glitters, I'm nipping them because the glitters do, you know, they go past the ends, and if I just pull it out, then I'm gonna wind up like pulling a little bit with it. Okay, now if I take this one, pop it off its perforation, I can use it over here. And you don't have to, you know, you don't have to, you get the 2 full strips. One strip is, you know, plenty for a lot of people. It's all going to depend on how long your nail beds are and how long your nails are. You know, that'll be what decides that for you. There's a little bit sticking out there. Don't be scared, you guys, to lift it up and reposition if you need to. And I wonder, let me see if I've got, I do. No. That one's pretty. And it will go pretty with this. So if I take this out, and this was just a random one saved, and I think it's Moon River. Yep, Moon River. So I'll take this little bit of plastic off. And glitters are a beautiful place to start if you're totally new, because they hide they hide imperfections. Okay, so on our pointer finger, put this, and I know this is a bit big for my pointer, which is why I wanted to use it, so I could show you guys how to clean up when you don't have big chunks of glitter. So I'm smoothing it down. Ooh, that's beautiful. And then I can use my thumb and just run it along the edge of my nail here. And then it'll just pull right up. And I also keep tweezers so I can just pull off my little bits. Basically you trimmed it with your fingernail just by pushing with your thumbnail, and that's why we save our thumbnails. So now this, I'm not gonna skip the overlay though, because that's, you know, part of the fun of a good overlay. So I'm gonna put that on there. Now I've got a beautiful gray accent, grayish blue. I guess I don't know what color to call Moon River. It depends what you pair it with, because sometimes it looks very like slate gray, but sometimes it leans a lot heavier to the blue. All right, there we are so far. Now flip around to this side, and I'm taking the other half, peeling it off. And again, this is going to be just a little hair too big for my finger, but that's okay, because that's how we show you how to clean up. Because if we just left all that crap on our skin, you guys, it wouldn't help anything hold in place. It would let water and such get under there. And I just folded that right over, you guys. For now. I won't leave that there forever. Don't panic. Go. Looking good, looking good. All right, now, one of my favorite tips that I came up with my own self. This was a something you need, made you invent it type of deal. All right, so on my thumb, peel the plastic off. I have super square nail beds on my thumb. So if I use this as is, you guys, I have just so much hanging out. It drove me crazy. So I cut off part of that rounded bit that they put on for me, so that my whole corner to corner is covered. Now, not as big of a deal with the clear overlay because you guys can't even see down there. But if that was a color, trust me. Well, maybe not. Maybe you wouldn't care, but I care. I don't want, like, you know, when I used to paint my nails way back, like in my 20s, I always kept them painted. You know, I didn't leave bits just hanging open. What the heck? Why would I do that? So, that's been one of my favorite tricks. And maybe it's not your thumb that has a square nail bed. It might be a different finger. Either way, that's the best way to fix it. I still have more glitters I have to trim, but that'll do for now. Okay, so what have we learned so far? Make sure we get our nails prepped and ready. Make sure that your proximal nail fold is pushed back. You've removed all your cuticle. Put down a base coat if you want a base coat. You don't have to. I just like a base coat a lot. Make sure you're storing your leftover strips properly, which means you've sealed them if you plan on saving them. And I don't know why you wouldn't save them, because now you've got 5 really, because this one can go in with them. 5 perfectly good accent strips. So let's say you did you know, a soft pink mani or this whole gray moon river. You could just go in and throw one or two of those on as a little accent. I mean, that 5 strips we've got in there really can go miles, you guys. Miles for adding little accents here and there for, I mean, any mani that you could throw, you know, the pink and red in with, but also for like Valentine's Day or in the summer or whatever. I'm going to cut this back open. I'm cutting the other end this time because my writing's down here. I'm just going to push them over a little. Put that baby in there since we didn't use him. And then I turn my heater back on and I will seal him shut in a second. Okay. Now, probably one of the most important parts I didn't understand was how long they take to cure. So Color Street tells you to give it a half hour before you're going in water or doing anything. And I 100% disagree with that. Again, I'm not a stylist. And Color Street will tell you that you're not supposed to. I mean, they'll tell you that if you reseal your strips, they don't guarantee them. So they consider that pack a one-use thing, a one-time use thing. But I consider it years worth of fun. There we go. Is that sealed? Yep. Let me put that down there so I don't burn my arm. Now, for me, right now, it's 2:30 in the morning. Oh my God, these are gorgeous, you guys. No wonder I fell in love. So, for me, this is the end, right? Like, I'll get a drink and go pee before bed, but that's it. I'm not doing chores. I'm not gonna be doing anything, because these are, of course, dry to the touch, right? Like, they're totally, you know, but it doesn't take much to bugger them up. Like, and I think that we get, as somebody new, you tend to get a little too daring because you're just like so in awe of this. The best thing you can do is do this last thing you do before bed. Go to bed, and when you get up in the morning, they're going to be so freaking sexy and magical. You won't know what hit you, because they look different when they cure up. They just, like, the glitters are more sparkly, just the colors are usually a little more bold. Just everything looks better in the morning. And that way you haven't messed it up by any means. Like, I can't tell you how many times, you know, even I'll do mine at like 9 o'clock at night and think I'm done for the night. And then it just, you know, I'm not done for the night, and then I bugger them up. It just never fails. So cure time is the most important. And as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I don't care if you want to do them at noon, do them at noon, but then go take like a 4-hour nap. Because honestly, they need hours to truly be cured. That 45 minutes or half hour is not accurate and not enough. And the other thing is, you know, you don't want to be in water. You don't want to get oil on them. You don't want to put lotion on them. You want to, seriously, you want to put them on and go to bed. That's just the best way to go about it. Oh, bless you, little cat. So let's say, because that is what I'm doing. So mine are on. Now, I do use a top coat right away with mine. And as far as I'm concerned, if you were painting your nails, you would never just paint your nails and that's it, right? Like, you do a base coat, you do your color, and then you would do a top coat. And I know that, you know, it's base coat, top coat, and such is built in to Color Street, but I also know, after 4 years of tinkering and using so much of them, that you want to set yourself up for success. So for me, that means adding a top coat. So favorites for me, like tried and true favorites at that. Oh, let me shake this. I would say this is probably my most used ever. And it's Northern Lights Holographic Top Coat Silver. And there's also a gold, which this used to be a gold jar, a gold glass, and I just keep refilling with silver. The gold is long gone. Anyway, it's beautiful. And it won't shrink the strip at all. Because you got to remember, this is 95, right? 95% dry when you get it. So what I like about Northern Lights is it doesn't shrink your strip as it dries. It dries super fast, and it just adds that tiny little spark, you guys. It's beautiful. I don't even have mine shaken very well. I order mine off of the IMN website. INM. That's their... I mean, my writing is even wore off. I always get this big bottle because, you guys, it has so much hollow in it. But you can get it, you know, like in a regular size bottle. But I think I'm about, oh gosh, maybe 4 or 5 bottles into this. I use it like crazy. Okay, the other one I love is OPI Plumper. Oh, this is, for the big bottles, is like $16 on their website. OPI Plumping is beautiful and gives this really like glassy, rounded finish. Now, it also dries fast and doesn't shrink, but it also has a couple downsides. So let me tell you. It is also like $16 for this one little bottle. And it doesn't stay good. It gets stringy. Like mine's already starting to get stringy, and I'm barely, like, what, maybe almost a third into it. But it just, I don't know. And they have like OPI additives you can put in that are supposed to make it be unstringy, but it doesn't work. But this looks amazing. Depending on what you're wanting for your end look, this gives that rounded, glassy gel finish. So, I mean, it does look beautiful, and it's super shiny. Okay. Oh, and OPI doesn't shrink your strips. Has not for me anyway, and dries super fast. China Glaze Patent Leather Top Coat. Slow to dry, I will say that. China Glaze is a slower dry, but it gives shine. Oh, it gives bucket loads of shine. And because it's very slow to dry, meaning like, you know, leave it sit for a good, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or something. Because it's slow to dry, it will not shrink your nails or your strips. It won't shrink your nail strips. Okay, and then my last is Out the Door, and this is, I have a big bottle of it, so I just keep refilling this bottle, but it's made by the same company, INM, and you can also buy this in this, but I have it in a big, like, 16 ounce. Okay, so we put our Northern Lights on this, which is definitely dry. Yep, OPI on there, that's dry. That one's China Glaze is still gonna be wet. And Out the Door dries super fast and does not shrink either. And I won't say it has any, like, it's decently shiny. It dries blazing fast. I mean, I say it's a good, kind of just good all around top coat. You know, it's not going to give you that big glassy look. It's not going to add glitter. It's not super high shine, but it is a good shine, I think. You know, and the fact that it dries super fast is always a bonus. I say, as long as it doesn't dry fast to the point that it's going to shrink your nail strips, which it does not. So that's that. Personally, 1 to 2 layers of top coat. Now, a lot of people let them go overnight and put their top coat on the next morning. I don't do it just because I'm impatient, you guys. Nothing else. There's nothing like, oh, I've tried this or tried that. Nope. I'm impatient. I want to have them completely done and set up tonight, you know, the top coat dry, and then I go to bed, and that's that. Like, I don't want to have to tinker with them tomorrow doing, like, I don't want to risk putting top coat on in the morning and then futzing them up, because that would be something I would do, right? But I do file them in the morning when they've cured overnight. That'll give you the best, like, cleanest file in my own opinion. Remember, we've got 2 layers on that, so it's a more dense glitter. And then now that you've done these beautiful nails, what are you gonna do to remove them? And this is a hot topic, you guys, because there's a lot of options. So personally, I can't use Mineral Fusion, which is an acetone-free remover. Pretty popular one. It's really hard on my skin, and I'm not the only person that said that. Like, I have other friends that have said, yep, I couldn't use it either. And then there's a Q-Tex brand, but I know it can be hard to find. And then, let's see. I thought I had one sitting out to show you guys. There's, of course, the Color Street one. Let me grab it. So I put mine in one of these little push kind, because I use nail clips with these little things folded, you know, you get the idea. So this is the Color Street one, acetone free. You guys, it's expensive. I'm not even gonna freaking joke with you. It's not cheap, and the shipping on it is expensive because they can't send acetone airmail. I think I have that right. I think I have that story right. Let me see. I don't even remember how much it costs. Yeah, $16. So they do have some bundles, so like you could get like a little starter kit of stuff for a little cheaper, but still the shipping's gonna be more. But honestly, you guys, so when they came out with this, I mean, $16, and if you ordered just this off their website, it's going to be $16 for this, and then I think $8 shipping. That's $25. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh my God. So I ordered it to try it because honestly, I wanted to try it and tell you guys that it was a big pile of shit and to save your $16. That was, oh my gosh, almost a year ago, because it came out in May and we're now mid-February and I have not used another remover. The difference it has made in my skin and in my nails, for me, is mind-blowing. The no acetone, and it has, does it say? Yeah, bergamot and black tea fragrance oil, so it smells pretty good as far as I'm concerned. And it definitely works brilliantly also as far as I'm concerned. The Q-Tex one, if you can find it, the acetone free one, is only like $4 for a bottle. So, you know, you do you find what works. But before I used it, I used these, and they're from Target, but they're acetone, and they're like $3. But it's the kind of tub. I also use these ones. This is from CVS, Beauty 360, but it has to be the Pro Strength one, also acetone. But it's the kind you can put your finger in and I love that style. But you guys, I haven't used acetone on my nails now for, well, almost a year. And it's lovely. This has a scrubber in it too. So I noticed the biggest difference with the health around my fingers. Had I not like did my cuticles and stuff for you guys, like you would not see any dry bits at all, because that Color Street remover is fantastic. It seriously is. And if you're somebody who's watched me, you know that I was the one who wanted to be the first to say, save your $16 and tell them to screw off, because it's crazy. And still I think it's crazy, but I also know that part of being an MLM is that whatever the item is, it has to go up 50% to cover your stylist. So that means that it's really worth about $8, which I think is roughly what Mineral Fusion runs you. So there you go. The key here is that even though you have just put this on almost like a sticker, it's real nail polish. It's going to cure up overnight and you're good to go to do absolutely anything you want. But don't pick it off, you guys. You wreck your nails. Don't pick it off. Don't pick it off. So my last 2 tips and things I wish I knew, they're things that I've gotten better at as I went. It's only your nails. like if you put something on and you absolutely hate it, like you really absolutely hate it, remove it and do them again. It took me a while to get to that point where I would just go, no, I hate this, and remove it and do something else. It's in the end all be all of it is nail polish. Make sure you're happy with them. You know, just make sure you're happy with them. It's only your nails. Shit, take it off, do it again. Nobody's gonna see them as close as you see them. So if it's something where you're like, ooh, I didn't place that right, nobody else is gonna know. But if you put on a color or a set and you go, ooh, I hate that on my skin now, and you want to look at it, then change it out. For me, this set, because I know that I love Confetti hugely, and this little Moon River was such a cute addition, this is going to have me looking at it nonstop, like, ooh, girl, those look good. Oh, your nails are looking good. Look at your nails. And that's just me. I do my nails for me. Like, I'm glad when other people say, hey, your nails are so cute. I say, thanks. But really, I go, I know. And lastly, you guys, here's what I wish I knew. Even though I never gave up, but I meet so many people that say they tried Color Street, it didn't work, and then now they've come back to it. So don't give up, you guys. Don't give up. Watch some videos. You don't gotta watch just me, girl. If you YouTube search Color Street stuff or Google search it, actually, if you Google search it, you guys, one of my girlfriends sent me nail girlfriends, but you know, we're just girlfriends, that's all. She sent me a screenshot that she Google searched how to do something with Color Street, and one of my videos came up as the top thing. So I don't feel bad about that. If you feel like you've learned some stuff while you've been here and you could handle my nonsense, then would you please subscribe? I am working hard at hitting 1,000. Again, not a stylist, just an addict. YouTube is totally free for you to subscribe. And most of my videos are at least a little informational, almost always entertaining. You know, we have a good time here. So here's the last thing I'm going to show you guys. And it goes along with what we said at the beginning when I said make sure your hands aren't too hot or aren't too cold and that your nails aren't. This is a flax bag, like just, you know, thrown on your eyes when you have a headache or whatever. These ones I've made, though, perfect size for nails because they're not very full, so that you can go like this and fold it right over and mold it to whatever. So I heat mine for about 45 seconds, but it's one of those things you just gotta trial and error. So if you have a flax bag, a corn bag, a rice bag, whatever it is. Now I will tell you, flax bags are the best, and here's why. In the middle of the flax seed is a little bit of oil still. So it almost gets a little bit of a moist heat, and that does wonders, especially if you have a little bit of a dry strip. You can heat this and then just wrap that flax right around. And flaxseed, of course, is the tiniest if you're going flax, rice, corn, whatever. I mean, flax seeds are teeny, teeny, tiny. So they really mold around your strips really well. And I have friends that have gotten flax bags from me. Nail friends that now use their flax bag after every mani, because it's seriously just the heat. If you have any little spot that's lifting a little bit, or you're worried isn't adhering, a little bit of heat, and you give it a good squeeze around your finger if it's one that's being a bugger. If it's all of them that are, you just want to be insured, then I just do it like that. And I'll do this half, then I'll do this half, then I'll do my thumbs. And not more than, like, you know, maybe a minute. You don't got to get anything too crazy, but it helps a ton. A little bit of heat at the end of it goes a long way. Now that's it. Now don't go do any chores, Stacy. Just, this is it. You got to go to bed. Also, no lotion. Did I say that? No lotion, no cuticle oil. Just go into bed. But when I get up in the morning, first thing I'm going to do is load up my jojoba oil. And you want to use jojoba because it is the smallest molecule there is, period, hard stop. Smallest molecule. Just buy a good organic brand on Amazon, super cheap, and douse those babies. And every time you wash your hands, douse them again, and you'll have the most beautiful nails and beautiful hands. You won't know what to do with yourself. Alright, you guys, I am completely out of voice now, even though I could probably go on for days talking about nail like health and care. So have a great one. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.